in Kebbi State. It's celebrated between February and March every year. In 2005, the winning fish weighed 75 kilograms and needed 4 men to hoist it onto the scales. In 2006, the festival banned fishing due to safety concerns relating to the low water levels. The importance of the festival to the economy has led the government to conserve fish stock by prohibiting the use of gill nets and cast nets. The Ziro Polder project, an irrigation scheme in the Rima River floodplain to the south of Agungu, has been criticized because the reservoir threatens to flood the traditional site of the festival. Activities include craft showcases, canoe races, agricultural showcase, cultural activities, wrestling matches, musical performances, a grand fishing contest and swimming contest. On the final day of the festival, the competition is held, in which thousands of men line up along the river, and at the sound of a gunshot, all of them jump into the river and have an hour to catch the largest fish. The winner can take home as much as $7,500. Competitors are only allowed to use traditional fishing tools, and many prefer to catch fish entirely by hand. A practice also popular elsewhere and known as noodling, and this is to demonstrate their prowess. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeats, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our...
2564 is coming up on 29 right.
Uyo Sarati is my name. I am a friend of the microphone. I talk and get paid, and I look forward to being in your studios. Voice of the People TV. That name is unique, and the brand is very sweet. I like the packaging, picture qualities, camera qualities, and then of course the quality of human beings that I see sometimes on your channel. I be like, well, this TV station will go places. Voice of the People TV.
Oh yes, you are on to Voice of the People TV. Live here in Benin City, the cradle of black civilization. What are you waiting for? Tune in, bro.
Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? They call me Lovisha Nelson One, your number one celebrity host, and you are watching Voice of the People Television, VOP. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Tosin Mohammed. I'm a gospel artist. Keep watching VOP TV.
Almighty Father, you are the mighty Redeemer. We've come to worship at your feet, oh Lord. This is Ayotunde Adejimo, chilling with you on the Voice of the People TV. Don't touch that remote. You are where God wants you to be. Listening to the Voice of the People TV.
The Bible says we should give thanks in all circumstances. And all circumstances include the good times and the bad, the high times and the low, the times when everything look as if they are going well, and those times when Enugbe, the ground is dry like the sand in the desert. Those times.
Welcome, guys. It is hashtags right here on VOP TV. This is where we're going to tell you all things trending, all things topical, and today promises to be an awesome edition. So, hey, just ride with me, yeah? It's going to be a smooth one, I promise you. My name is Vivian Uguche, and if this is your first time coming aboard, please accept a very warm welcome from us. I say us because I'm not flying solo.
I'm Ikechukwu Aguagu, and it is going to be an awesome edition of it because there's a lot of hashtag rolling and a lot that's really getting a lot of persons talking because, particularly, the case of Miriam Sanda, which is very much, I don't know, a lot of persons are thinking, do the Supreme Court really have the right to actually do what they're doing? But we'll find out about, that and all of other hashtags we'll be looking at today as Vivian takes us on the ride. Vivian, what's up?
Already Ikechukwu is giving us a sneak peek, and that's how we're going to be rolling. First hashtag is hashtag Miriam Sanda. We've had this hashtag over and over in this place, yeah, especially when the president had granted her a presidential pardon, and there was so much backlash on and off air, on and offline, I should say. So the president now decided to take, or the presidency decided to take a second look at the list, the clemency list. And there was a reversal on a number of names. Miriam Sanda, instead of her or being killed by hanging, dying by hanging, it was said that she was going to complete a 12-year sentence and then she could go home. But that has changed. The Supreme Court today is saying that no, she committed a crime, she was prosecuted, and the sentence stands. So the Supreme Court today affirmed the death sentence for Miriam Sanda. That's the very first hashtag. The news broke and it's got the netizens, talking. There's so much chatter about this one. So why don't I take you to X now? So we take a look at that particular one. Hashtag Miriam Sanda. Let's do it. Thank you. The Nation Nigeria says Supreme Court overrides federal government's pardon for Miriam Sanda, affirms death sentence. Lots of reactions to this one. Let's take a look at them. A. Adebanji says, Nigeria never fails to deliver drama. First, Miriam Sanda is sentenced to death for a heinous crime. Then the government steps in with a presidential pardon, only for the Supreme Court to overturn it. This back and forth shows just how confused and inconsistent our system can be. It's one thing to show mercy. It's another to make a decision that gets reversed at the highest level. The highest level in this case being the apex court, talking about the Supreme Court. Babatokpe says it is not possible for the Supreme Court to override clemency granted by a president, which is what Ikechukwu was alluding to earlier on. OCFA says the level of anyhowness in that country is hilarious. So anyhowness is saying anything flies, is that what you're saying? And then in that country, being Nigeria, I think that's what OC is saying. And then it goes on and says, Supreme Court rejects a presidential pardon. That's the question. Also goes on to say Nigeria should have its own plant. What kind of plant is he talking about? I don't even know. Maybe like a Nigerian rose or what now? I don't know. A group of reactions, more. Let's take a look at them. So Jersey and Booth says, I don't have much knowledge about law, but I think the Supreme Court got this one right. And the decision is a healthy assertion in the Constitution. The president can pardon someone whose case is still on appeal. Kano Blog says, the Supreme Court's decision on Mariam Sanda is a powerful reminder that justice in Nigeria must remain consistent, transparent, and insulated from political influence. But beyond the headlines, this moment calls for deeper reflection. Our justice system must deliver fairness not only in high-profile cases, but for the countless ordinary citizens whose voices never make the news. True justice is not about sentiment. It is about building a system where every Nigerian, rich or poor, powerful or powerless, is treated equally before the law. Eli Elut says, accurate. It should have been better captioned. The Supreme Court takes a final decision on Mariam Sanda'S case instead of this embarrassing pop-free miles away from the truth. More. Let's go and take a look at the responses now to this hashtag Mariam Sanda'S, shall we? Thank you. Justice in Focus says, big day for the justice system. The Supreme Court reaffirmed that no executive action should override an ongoing judicial process. Justice served. Adefisaya says, no court can override presidential pardon. Mayor UTD says, it's still the prerogative of the president to pardon her for a second time. Kebi King says, as it should be. So there is a lot of debate going on X at the moment, and I'm sure as it is, offline. So the grasp of a number of netizens is, you can't give a presidential pardon when a case is still being tried. So her case was at the appeal court when she was granted presidential pardon. So now the apex court, which is the Supreme Court, has gave its judgment and is saying no. The case or this sentence stands.
True, and rightly so. I was expecting the president to actually use the Office of the Attorney General to enter a nolle prosecute after, he pardoned Mariam Sanda to end the case, there and there. But he didn't do that. So, of course, the case has to continue. And the Supreme Court did just what the Supreme Court should do, which is to take decision based on what the evidence before her is. And now it's the position of the president. Someone actually alluded to that the president can really, pardon her a second time. Now she's, in the eyes of the law, she's a criminal, so the president can now pardon her. Of course, there are cases where even when it's happened like this, it has gotten to the highest level, the president, the case has been concluded. Let me say it's got to the Supreme Court, the case has been concluded. The Supreme Court can also still overrule the president's case. These are very rare cases. It's never happened here in Nigeria before.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, do you have an example?
Yes, but the only time it can happen is when you have this sort of backlash, and then the Supreme Court decides, so if we really have, a really three-arm government where there's serious check and balance, then Supreme Court can really step in and say, no, based off, the public outcry and reaction of people, President, yes, you can actually pardon. The Constitution was actually given to you to actually protect the Constitution, but this person's pardon is actually out of, order. But in this case, right, I think all the president just needs to do, since it's now officially in the eyes of the law that she's a criminal, is the president should just, repardon her and everyone will be fine.
Yeah, well, that's what you think. I don't even know if the presidency will want to touch this case with a very long stick, the way it's panned out so far. But we'll keep our fingers crossed to see how this one goes. But I'm thinking, gosh, Mariam Sanda herself, the emotional turmoil. You hear you're going to die by hanging, and then you hear there's a presidential pardon, and then you hear that Nigerians are saying, no, you must die, and then you hear that the Supreme Court has affirmed that you're going to die. Gosh, it's a lot.
I think it's just a miscommunication. As soon as the president pardoned her, that's the first thing. The Attorney General should have just taken over the case, end the case right there at the appeal.
Well, but there were procedures to be followed. Yeah, the Attorney General came out to say that when a presidential list for clemency comes out, that there are protocols. You know, there's always going to be a second look at it and all. The second look was when Nigerians lashed out and the presidency decided to take a second look, and the life sentence, like I said earlier on, was turned to a 12-year sentence. But hey, who knows? We'll continue to see how this particular one pans out, right? You remember that at some point, Miriam Sanda'S' father-in-law, who is the father of her late husband, who she killed during a domestic dispute. This is a lot for, you know, it takes a while for you to wrap your head around it. Her father-in-law had come out to say that, look, marriage is a union. Miriam has become his own daughter, and that he doesn't see any gain in her dying after his son is dead. I mean, they have children. He was saying he doesn't want his grandchildren to be orphans. But hey, we don't know how this is going to pan out. I'm telling you, this is just one nutty case. We'll keep our fingers crossed, yeah, as the event unfolds. We'll keep you posted, because we are sure the presidency will be sure to react to this one. And as soon as that reaction comes out, we'll let you know. Let's move on to something else we talked about. We actually talked about it yesterday. Hashtag Chris Ngige. It's made a comeback. Yesterday, we told you that his aide had told the press that he was picked up by the EFCC, but they didn't say anything about his charges. Well, today it's all over the papers. In fact, he has been sent to Kuje prison, and the charges, he's been tried for improper allocation of contracts to his associates. The money is amounting to over billions of naira. Yeah, over 2 billion naira. So he's in Kuje right now because he was denied bail. Let me take you to X so you see how this story is panning. Thank you. Instablog Niger says, former Anambra Gov Chris Ngige denied bail, sent to Kuje prison over 2.2 billion naira contract fraud allegations. Chris Ngige, Nigeria's former labor minister, entered a not guilty plea at the FCT High Court, Gwarimpa, on charges of improperly awarding contracts totaling over 2 billion naira to associates during his tenure. Justice Miriam Hassan remanded him at the Kuje Correctional Center with his bail application scheduled for Monday, December 14. That's a couple of days from now. Let's continue to take a look at the posts under this hashtag Chris Ngige. The next one. So these are responses now. Queen Bee says his kind of politics, thuggery, intimidation, inducement, bribery, and more bribery. I don't even know what Queen Bee is talking about. Whose kind of politics are you talking about? Well, Victor says, more like we can deal with you, spend your weekend here firstly. Again, I ask, what of Yahaya Bello, Okezie Piazzo, Oji Uzokalu, and Umar Ganduje? More reactions. Let's go and take a look at them. So A. Adebanji says, at least 80% of Nigeria's politicians, past and present, should be in jail, especially those who served under Buhari's administration. If Nigeria were truly a sane and accountable country, most of them would be behind bars for their mismanagement, corruption, and abuse of power. Yet, instead of justice, we see selective outrage and excuses, showing that accountability in this country remains a distant dream. Onusam says, denied bail and sent to Kuje prison for allegedly stealing over 2.2 billion naira, while Yahaya Bello, who allegedly stole over 80 billion naira, is walking free, threatening state lawmakers, getting birthday shout-outs from the presidency, and chilling. When we talk about selective justice, people think we are playing the victim. There are more reactions because this generated so much chatter online. So we're going to take a look at the responses. Emmanuel Ogezi says, that's the reason I respect Peter Obi till today. If APC had the slightest corruption trace against him, they would have sentenced him to Kuje since Peter Obi is pure gold. Nichelle Food and Health Tip says, another big man in Kuje headline. But the real victims are ordinary people whose hospitals, schools, and roads never see that 2.2 billion naira. If the case is real, let it go beyond remand and headlines to actual justice. Jago says, Allegations like these remind us why transparency and proper oversight in public office are essential. The court process will reveal the facts, but Nigeria must keep strengthening institutions that prevent contract abuses and protect public funds. Accountability should never depend on who is involved. This is a lot, Ikechukwu.
True.
So netizens have brought up so much from different angles. First, they're saying, what's up with former Kogi governor Yahaya Bello, who was accused of defrauding over about 80 billion naira? Where is he? Where is former APC chairman Ganduje, who once upon a time was called the Dollar Man?
Yeah.
And then they're saying this might be selective justice. But others are saying, take for example Peter Obi, who has never been tried by any of these administrations. Why? Because it's pure gold. I mean, what's your take?
Well, first of all, this is my position when it comes to politicians being tried for cases like this. If you're clean, you will not have any case to answer. That's me. So before I look at the fact that selective justice is actually no justice, or first also look at the merits. Did you do it? Right. If you committed an offense, that's exactly what you're trying you. So if you decide to actually punish you and leave the other person, we can address that later, but you just have to be punished. Now, for Chris Ngige, a lot of persons will say, okay, he's going after political opponents and all of that. Ngige is an APC man. He was part of the Buhari's kitchen cabinet. Of course, now Buhari's out of government. This is new government, still in APC. So what exactly is the case here now? So for me, right, Ngige, at the end of the day...
Can I come in? We had Chijoke Oji. He's a public affairs analyst, and he's quite close to the presidency. He was on board News Hour yesterday. He said under Buhari, El Rufai, and could you carry on Abubakar?
Okay. So the thing is, when we get this sort of things, Ngige as a man, right? Yes, I know he's got a very huge influence in the Southeast as a politician. So maybe this might also be a card of this administration trying to actually win the big wigs in the Southeast. So sometimes like that, you actually need stuff like that to actually pull up these sort of things and then push your position stronger in the Southeast. And of course, Southeast has always been a place where the vote might not be really big, but the influence the Southeast has got, in the South will always be telling. And that's exactly perhaps why, Ngige is actually facing. But in all of this, right, whether you choose to look at it from the lens of politics or the lens of which hunt, the truth is there's a problem with, the fact that Ngige might actually, be in the wrong in all of this. And for me, I think Nigerians have suffered a lot, and Nigerians really don't care if Ngige is being punished for not being loyal to the president or not. The fact that if Ngige has done something wrong, I think it has to be tried. Because if you start trying people who actually who actually have done something wrong, I think it's the very first a point of call to actually get things right. But unfortunately, in the end, if Ngige comes out that he's actually clean, then, of course, you can start addressing the second phase of it, which is the case of political withdrawal. But until then, I think we should just look at it as, a case of Ngige having questions to answer, and I want to leave it at that.
I'm suffering a bout of cough, but I need to say this. So we're talking about Chijoke Oji, who said that Malami, who is also in EFCC custody at the moment, as well as El Rufai and Ngige, were the top men in Buhari's cabinet.
Yeah.
El Rufai and Malami are in the ADC at the moment. And that Ngige is seen as a part of that bloc who is not totally loyal to the present administration, hence what's happening at the moment.
Yeah. So it's very possible.
So there's a possibility.
No, it's very possible. Like I said, I'm looking at it from two lenses. The first is the fact that he actually did whatever it is that they said he did until he's proven himself to be innocent. And the other part is the fact that yes, this particular position is quite true. We talked about this. I think about 2 months ago when we talked about the fact that in December there's going to be a horse trading, a lot of people jumping ship, and also we also established the fact that even around this time, politicians, political parties will also have people who would definitely be loyal to another political party and still remain in, within the political ranks. That's exactly what, the Trojan horse will always be. So perhaps Ngige is actually playing the mold for ADC in the APC, and that's exactly why they're trying to actually cut him out. That's a very big possibility. But beyond all of this, let's just assume that Ngige as a man is a man who's got a clean track record. Like someone alluded to Peter B now, the fact that he's not been, caught up in any a lot of this. Let's imagine that it's Peter B in the APC now, and he's trying to actually play ball for the ADC. Do you think he's going to be facing all of this? No. If they want to come at him, it's definitely going to be on a ground of corruption. That's exactly what I'm saying. So I don't want to cut any politician any slack because, politicians actually fighting themselves. That's politicians. They always fight themselves and find a way to actually, embrace themselves behind our backs. But here, the fact is, if Ngige has done what they say he did, I think he deserves to be punished just as much as, the likes of Yabelo. Even if this administration doesn't end up punishing them, perhaps someone who's definitely going to find their case worthy to actually, be tried and get punished eventually will definitely step up, hopefully someday.
All right. That's a safe place to land. Going to keep our fingers crossed to see how this one pans out. Also remember that Malami, who we talked about yesterday, former Attorney General Abakar Malami, is still also in the EFCC custody over cases of terror financing and money laundering. But hey, let's move on to the next hashtag, which is hashtag River State. It's also trending as hashtag Wiki, but let's settle for hashtag River State. So, Sim Fubara came out to say that he's now 001, the #1 APC member in the state. And there's so much chatter about this. I'll show you a post, then you will take a listen to Fubara himself spinning this tale. It's better for you to listen to him. So let's go to X now, hashtag River State. Shall we do it? Thank you. So
yeah, Port Harcourt specials. Rivers people rejoice as Governor Fubara declares himself 001 of APC River State. Another one.
No, let's
look at the video. Okay.
Congress, I am the number of progressive. Congress, I am the #1. Listen, wait now, wait. Elected my card this morning, and the form is 0001.
So, it looks like Fubara is taking the fight to Wiki right now. And that's the chatter online. People are saying, oh my God, he's now 001, he's now 001, #1 APC man in the River State. Where does that leave Wiki? We talked about this yesterday. You were just saying, you tried to argue that it was just in paper, that him defecting, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but it's unfolding now. And lots
of nothing unfolding there.
It's unfolding because they're saying that, look, right now, it means he has a direct contact to the president. He's now the #1 APC president in the state, and that Wike is not going to be holding any gun over his head. But there are more posts regarding this one. I'd like for us to take a look at the posts to see how netizens are putting 1 + 1 to give us 2, and then Ikechukwu can have his say about it. It is hashtag Riv. Let's take a look at the next post. So, King Prince says the mandate is shaking in River State. And then he now put up this video of Wike dancing and singing on your mandate, we shall stand. So apparently this is a dig at Wike, saying this mandate where you stand upon, don't they shake. Guys, take a look.
Yes, sir. In the Chief of Staff's office. Well done. Very nice. I'm glad to see this.
Oh my God. Ikechukwu, Does this crack you up the way it cracks me up? There's so many things about that video that just makes me want to burst into laughter.
I'm just looking at him, and I just realized that, I mean, it's a former governor, minister of the FCT, and a lawyer, and I know how lawyers behave.
So what are you saying?
Absolutely unloyal.
He's just being playful, and he's singing the song of his ally. That part, I don't know what kind of dance move that is. I really don't know. I don't know what we'll call that. But it looks like Fubara is actually really fighting this fight the way Wiki does.
I don't see any
complete with the music. But netizens are saying it that way. There's another post. Let's take a look at the next post now, shall we? It is #Rivers State. So Queen B says Bola has completely taken over Rivers State from Wiki. His bargaining power is no more. So you don't seem to see it, but this is what netizens are saying. That what Fubara did was to now cut off his godfather, to say, okay, Mr. President, let's have this conversation, you and I, one-on-one, right? And so he's now the number, because that's what he kept saying. In fact, Vanguard has this post where Fubara said, I am the #1 person when it comes to the APC in Rivers State. Let's take a look at it. Thank you so much. Vanguard newspaper says, I'm not just a member of the APC, I'm the #1 in Rivers State. I've collected my registration card and it reads 001. Governor Fubara declares himself the leader of APC in Rivers State. So yesterday when I asked you what this means, you said the leader of APC in Rivers State still remains Wiki. I think this is Fubara responding to you directly. That's it. He has declared himself the leader of the APC in Rivers State.
Well, see, on paper, right?
Oh, my God.
Yes, on paper.
Here we go again.
No, the truth is, on paper, the governor of a state is the #1 citizen of that state. On paper, anywhere in the world. Be it APC, be it PDP, on paper it is. But then there are people who are kingmakers, you know, that there are governors who came into office via, you know, that sort of means where the kingmaker is actually the one who is right there as, you know, the core grassroots politicians. Still on paper, you still be the governor, #1 citizen of the state, but then, you know, politically, right, they know that you are not the #1 in the state. So if you are saying on paper, yes, on paper, 001 is definitely going to be the governor. Even while he was at PDP, he's still very much the 001 of PDP. That's exactly what it is. But saying that...
It's a good thing everybody is entitled to their opinion. And this is your own opinion. The netizens have theirs. I have mine. And
yours is actually aligned with
No, I'm not lying. I'm not aligning. I'm just reporting what I see.
Okay.
On that note, we move on to another hashtag, which is #Oni. This is kind of a shootout from the hashtag we had yesterday, Aliko Dangote, where he launched a 100 billion naira annual education scholarship. He launched it in Lagos yesterday. So there are more talking points that's coming out from that particular event. And today's talking point is Oni. Why? Because the billionaire businessman, talking about Aliko Dangote, who owns a refinery in Lagos, one of the largest in the world, said that it was only because of the Oni of Ife that he was able to build that refinery, that if there was no Oni, there wouldn't have been any Dangote refinery. Why don't you, let me take you to X, yeah? You see the post that's going to lead us to the video. Shall we? Let's do it. #Oni it is. Thank you. Nigeria Story says, Dangote thanks Oni of Ife for enabling the building of a factory, stating 19 shrines at the site and nobody was able to go near there to do anything. But Oni went there, stood there, and said, remove all of them, let the gods come and talk to me. Are you kidding me? And so Dangote is telling this story himself. Listen to him.
I must recognize and thank the Oni of Ife for making us to be able to go in and build our factories. What happened was that when we got in there were over 19 shrines at the site, and nobody was able to even near them to do anything. Oni went there, not that he went there personally, he stood right there and said, if I remove all of them, Anything that they want, let the courts come and talk to me. Yeah, Royal Majesty, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because without that singular act of yours, I don't think we would have actually been able to even build the family, not talk about the fertilizer. So thank you very much.
All right, so that's it. It's a big deal. I'm curious as to see how Ikechukwu is going to spin this particular one. But there are netizens who are talking and responding to this one. You want to take a look? Let's do it. It is #Oni, and we saw Dangote thanking the traditional ruler for saving his refinery, actually for paving a way. Let's take a look at the reactions, shall we? Thank you. Jaron says, imagine the gods hearing, come and talk to me. And Jaron is laughing heartily. Daniel Rega says, will the same be done for anyone regardless of their wealth? And most importantly, ethnicity? That's the question. Farmboy says, Oni, now strong man. So would you want to react to the reactions or to what the Oni did or to what Dangote said? Which one?
Well, all of it. I think from what I see, maybe these guys really don't know what the Oni of Ife means to the Yoruba people. So the Oni of Ife, by right himself, is also a god, you know. Why the Alaafin of Oyo is like the king of the Yoruba race, so more like the god and the king. So when a god step into an arena of gods and say, let the god talk to me, it's an authority, right? So his presence is more like, you know, meeting with his folks and say, hey, let this thing go. It's actually not a big deal, really. I mean, there are people who would even have done this, but the Oni is too big to actually step into that. It's good that, you know, this actually gave credence to a lot of talks about the power and the position of the Oni in, you know, in the...
Yeah, there's been this debate as to who's higher, the Alaafin or the Oni.
No, people who really, you know, who really follow the Yoruba history, the Yoruba people will tell you that the Oni is like a god, while the Alaafin is the king of, you know, the race. That's exactly how it's shared. So more like the authority, you know, of, you know, the Yoruba race resides right in his hand, and of course the Oni, the Alaafin plays more like the administrative role, governing the people and all of that. So that's not the place of the Oni. The Oni is more like, you know, the king's kings, more like the god, you know, amongst, you know, other kings. That's exactly what he is. And, you know, coming into that particular space just showed exactly why, you know, his position is being talked about that way. And of course, you need to know the number of, you know, things he goes through to become, you know, the Oni of Ife. That's a lot of him, you know, a lot of time spending. That's him spending a lot of time with his comrade. I want to call them his comrade.
Yeah. So what you're trying to say in a nutshell is he's been cooked. He'll be cooked for a while, for some while before he steps into that position.
Dangote is actually, I think this is one of those things that, you know, money and you know, power, you know, gives you influence of people like this, and that's why it's easy.
Yeah, but before he became a traditional ruler,
no, I'm not talking about Oni now. I'm talking about Dangote.
I know, but hey, I'm saying, right, before the Oni became a traditional ruler, he was quite a businessman himself.
Very well.
He probably would have had, you know, associations with Dangote.
No, I'm even talking about Dangote getting access to him.
Yeah, that's what you're saying, because you see, so you're saying Dangote getting access to him as Oni.
Yes, because Dangote is actually a big man.
Yeah, but I'm saying their relation probably dates back to before the Oni became the Oni.
Well, possibly.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. This thing about the Oni and the position, you know, he holds, also, there's a tie to the Oba of Benin. Even the Oni himself has come to say that there's a relationship between, you know, their ancestry. Talking about, you know, Benin, and I'm talking about Edo, Benin, and then the Yoruba, you know, throne.
Yeah, it was said that, you know, the son of the Oni actually went to, you know, Benin to become, you know, king. No, the son of the king of Benin rather came to Ile-Ife to become, you know, king, and that's exactly what the relationship, is at some point. So there's huge, and of course it's also, if you look at the way the both tribes also relate, even in their names, you definitely get to see that they have a lot of course, you know that the Labour Party candidate in the last election is Olumide Akpata. I'm talking about in Edo State, so that's very much a Yoruba name, right? So they have, that's very close ancestry.
Yeah, so before we wrap up this particular hashtag, let's address one of the things that Daniel Rega, the respondents on X, said. He was saying that would this be done for everybody? And then he was talking about ethnicity. This is not the thing about
this answers the question already. I mean, Dangote is from Kano State.
He's a northerner, and the Oni is a southerner. So I don't even say, thank you, Director. That's it.
It's from Kano.
Saying, will the same be done for anyone regardless of their wealth and most importantly, ethnicity? That's the question.
It's from Kano.
Yeah, I don't see how this
Well, it's Daniel Rega.
Well, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. And he's actually asking a question, so I think your answer does justice to his question. On that note, let's take you away from politics and Oni and Dangote and everything, and let's go back to Tubaba. Yeah? I'm saying go back to Tubaba because it's one hashtag we've been following all the time. This time around, he was at a show, and he was telling Nigerians that he has entertained Nigerians enough. They should take their sights off of him and concentrate on the woes bedeviling the country, because he said there are so many things happening. And then there's a caveat to it. The way he ended that by singing a line out of his song had the crowd going. Let's put up the post by Pulse NG, and then we'll put up the video for you. Let's do it. Hashtag Tubaba. Shall we? Thank you. Well, it is Instablog Nigeria this time around. Pulse also has it. But let's do Instablog Nigeria that says, I've entertained you all enough. Let's focus on more important things. Singer Tubaba says. Credit goes to Hip TV for this video. Take a listen, guys.
See, so many serious things they happen for Nigeria. I ignore that nonsense. See, so many serious things they happen for Nigeria. So, I don't entertain you too much for that space. But I forget that nonsense. No, first more important things. Because if we like say they don't they tell us another story and they do. They don't they out at you.
Oh my gosh, Tubaba will always wow you. I'm telling you. You see how he slipped in the song? If you like say they don't tell us story again. It's just beautiful. And he had the crowd eating out of his hands, and all.
And this is why people say that, negative publicity is still publicity.
Yeah, I think he's even playing about it. He doesn't really feel the heat anymore.
He started with, I don't entertain Natuma for that space when I forget that rubbish. He's talking about his personal life.
Yeah, he's talking about...
Now he's talking about, let's talk about what's happening to us now. And, we recall that this song was a hit, when it came out during the election period. Talking about...
sort of like a political song.
Yes, this one and the other song he sang, for instance. Those are the two songs that Two-Face did a lot when it comes to, political talk. And for a man
So he knows what he's doing.
Absolutely. For a man who is actually, at some point, wanted to lead protests, you want to understand that he's one of those persons who really feel... the pulse of the average Nigerian.
Let's talk about that. He was going to lead a protest at the heat of it. That was when Goodluck Jonathan was president.
Yeah.
And there was so much Nigerians who actually wanted to join. But all of a sudden, we heard Tubaba Nud go do the protest again and in Eden like that. And I remember there was so many people, including Olunloyo, the popular journalist.
Yeah.
And a number of people calling out to Two-Face to say, Tubaba, don't do it. Don't soil your name. Leave politics for the politicians. Leave activism for the activists. He probably listened to a lot of people who reached out to him. See, this thing about Two-Face being loved is, he don't take, it no be now.
It's got that aura,
It's an aura.
Yeah,
There's one response that I picked out of lots of responses to this particular hashtag. Let's take a look at it now. I think someone was saying, see, my story time says on your mandate to Baba.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, you were talking about that protest at that point. I remember very well I was in Port Harcourt and we were having, a conversation a night before, it came up to light that Two-Face would not be holding that, And, the particular place where that, because it was going to be a national protest, people actually, setting up camps in different places. So, okay, in Port Harcourt, this is where it's going to be held and all of that.
It was going to be a national thing.
Yeah. So we're actually, talking overnight and, looking at, okay, let's see what tomorrow brings. Let's see if this protest is going to, because it's two-faced, obviously. A lot of artists, were like, interested in this whole thing. And in the morning, I just saw someone just came and I don't know what's worried at two-faced. What's happened? Like, the protests have been called off and so many things, it's actually, a lot of persons really felt bad. But I'm happy for him now. I just hope he just, jump on this particular wave of this momentum and then build his career and give us good songs. I mean, ONG, you remember ONG, that comedian? He once said that in an era where there's no instrument and no vocal backup singer, that if there's any musician who's going to guarantee he's going to make money, it's two-faced.
In an era where there's no auto-tune. You remember auto-tune?
Yeah.
The person that's going to make money is two-faced. He was the first Nigerian singer that had his song made a signature tune. What's it called now? A soundtrack for a movie.
Fat Girls.
Fat Girls with Monica.
The first Nigerian song to also be played on MTV Base. I think the first African song as well.
And one of the first Africans to win awards, as a Nigerian and African on a foreign and international base. But hey, let's stop blowing Tubaba's trumpet, and
because move on. Because it's not easy.
Oh, yeah, no, not that. Tubaba is always Tubaba. Let's talk about something else, We are taking a flight quickly to the U.S. So President Barack Obama is about launching his presidential center. It's called the Obama Presidential Center. And he's been traveling a lot and touching base, with his friends, his barbers, visiting choirs, going to places where he used to be before he became president and all of that. Sort of like a promotional tour. Yesterday, he went to see his barber. He put up a post. We're going to take a look at that. Today, he went to be a part of a choir. You are going to see him singing. So it's going to be fun. Walk with me, It is hashtag Obama Presidential Center. Let's take a look at the post he put up before he visited his barber, shall we? Thank you. Barack Obama says, I couldn't leave Chicago without getting a cut from my old barber, Zarif. Take a look, guys.
I haven't seen this shop in a while. How you been? Good to see you. You doing all right? Doing all right. I don't even really need to take it down just to clean it up. Yeah.
Today, President Obama stopped in for a surprise haircut, and I was not prepared for that.
So what's been happening, man? Doing what I do. Well, I know that's right. With the center opening, we'll be spending more time here. You got the playground in the park, then there'll be Michelle's Garden, there'll be a restaurant over there.
We need more community centers, and for him to really listen, take heed, and put it in action, I'm like, okay, cool, I can't wait to check it out.
No, you can come too, Mercedes. It ain't just for kids. I've known President Obama probably about 25 years. Just a regular neighborhood guy, and then watching him just shoot straight up, that was really something. It happened very quickly.
How did you manage, staying in good health under, doing...
All the stress?
Yeah, the stress.
Well, I was pretty good about working out in the morning, and I'm pretty good about eating right. The big problem was lack of sleep, because you couldn't really do anything about that. See, Zarif hadn't lost his touch. Come on, everybody round up.
What's your sign?
I'm a Leo.
A Leo. Oh, Leo.
Thank you. Take care now.
It's just beautiful. He's a regular guy. You can say he's your boy next door or your boy Friday. Kechu.
Well, I'm not a big fan of Obama, but I think when it comes to presidents with charisma or personality, is actually a leader in its real sense, who can actually command the space. I think Obama would definitely come in mind. It's one man who, when it comes to leadership style and being firm, taking position, and of course being a very good orator. I think there's very few persons across the world, dead or alive, that can actually match the personality of Barack Obama. He's got a very strong personality as a person. I think that's what he's got going for him. And this is also a very beautiful one. Talking about the center he's built, and sponsorship from Sanda'S and other big brands. It says a lot about.
No, that's not the sponsorship from Mercedes is the name of that lady Baba.
No, lady.
It's her name.
I thought he was saying that Sanda'S is the Sanda'S Park.
No. Mercedes is the name of the girl.
This girl?
Yeah.
Whoa, she really looks like a Mercedes.
Well, I don't know what that means.
but yeah.
You talked about his personality, yeah. And earlier on, you talked about Baba's personality. His aura, that's the word you use. I think Obama's got that too.
Obama's aura is actually, yes, it's an aura.
It's an aura. And also, I think the best thing to say about him, or the best thing that's got going for him is the fact that he's an orator.
Very well.
He could sell the pants off of you, I'm telling you, with his words.
You were telling me he's promoting his business.
Yeah, and see the way he's doing it.
See the way he's doing it. He's actually a salesman. See, the best politicians in the world are salesmen. People who actually can actually sell, themselves. And Obama can actually do that very well. I mean, that is, campaign to 2008. Yes, we can.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the biggest campaigns that I can always, remember anytime I look at,
one of the strongest campaigns that rocked the internet. I think it was the very first time that the internet won the presidency. Yeah. But there's something I want for us to say, right? He wanted to do a promo or a publicity, and he decided to go to his barber's shop. And he said he's going to be coming often because that's where his center is located. Now, in the West, right, they have this tradition when a president leaves office, they either have the presidential library or a presidential center, which Obama is going to do. And it took him years to decide to do this one. I think it's a beautiful thing. We have President Olusegun Obasanjo Library in Nigeria. I think it's the only president that has stuff like that. Mm-hmm. We are hoping to see more of it. But one more post and one more video from Obama before we wrap this up. It's going to be short and pacey. Let's quickly take a look at the next post he put up. So Barack Obama again put up this post. He said, "I'm so proud of the talented Leo High School Choir and all they're doing to represent the South Side of Chicago." He's still on his promotional tour, and he put up this video. Take a look.
How's it going, everybody? Good. You got some voices, eh? I can tell. If you have any requests, we love to sing for you. All right, give me a little sample of something. Your dreams too, ready, and your dreams ain't easy. You just stick by your plan to go from boys to men. You gotta act like a man when it gets hard, y'all. You just grab what you know, stand up tall, and don't you fall. Hey, you will know, say, you will know. Up, 1, 2.
It is beautiful. It just leaves a smile on your face. Guys, by the way, he's become an official member of the Leo Choir group. Ikechukwu practically does not have anything to say. Yeah, do you have anything to say about it?
Well, I mean,
it's just beautiful to watch.
It's very beautiful to watch. Yeah. I mean, seeing a former president coming around to actually mix with his old neighborhood.
And mingle.
Yes.
Did you see how he mingled?
Do all the stuff he's doing in his old neighborhood. Yeah. I just look at him and I look at an ex-president in this part of the world and just imagine, this kind of stuff, how that barbering salon would have been condoned heavily. But hey, it's beautiful that we're having this sort of thing.
Your namesake, Ikechukwu, is saying something hilarious. Ikechukwu, you're going to come to hashtags on Monday to say this thing you just said. But hey, we got to wrap things up. I got to say thank you to the incredible team. I say it all the time. The Friday team, Manfred, this time around not Adura, but Samuel, thumbs up. Manfred, Samuel, Ikechukwu, Paul, I am so glad, guys, you make life easy for me. Thank you so much. And to everybody who's contributed to making hashtags a success, Monday all the way to Saturday, we say thank you so much. Ikechukwu, fantastic as usual.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
amazing.
Guys, if you like to keep a date again with us, same time, same station. Until then, I am Vivian Ugoche, and bye for now.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeats, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide